So I'm just going to take you through the very basics of stitching blackwork, how to start off, how to put your fabric, and I'm just going to stitch this really simple heart pattern, which will be explained much more thoroughly if you buy the cheat sheet that is available on my website or is included in all of the kits. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fabric in the hoop. Now you'll notice that the fabric is horizontal and vertical. So the pattern is square on rather than diagonal like this. Because if you put the squares diagonally like this, then your pattern isn't going to match up to the square grid. As you can see here, that's square on. So you need to make sure that your fabric matches up with that in the hoop when you're stitching. So you're going to need to loosen your hoop a bit more than you think, because Ada's a bit thicker than cotton, so to fit it in the hoop you need to give it a bit more play. So I'm just going to pop my fabric in the hoop. There we go. As you can see, it's horizontal on. You can see all the squares, the lines running horizontally and vertically. So I'm now going to thread my needle. I'm using a bigger fabric and all 6 strands of floss here, but normally I would get you to use a lot of finer count of fabric, and 3 strands if you're doing an outline and 1 if you're filling in detail. But just for the purposes of showing you the basic stitching, this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to start at point 1 here, and I'm going to count down to point 2, which is 1 down diagonally to the left. So I will come up wherever I want to start. I've decided I'm going to start here. So up through the fabric, you count 1 diagonally to the right. I think I said left before, it's right. So now I'm going to count to point 3, which is just there, and I'm going to come up at point 3 and down again at point 2. Essentially from now on it is exactly like back stitch, except you go through the right holes. So 4 is 2 down and 1 to the left, so I'm going to count 1, 2 down and 1 to the left, bring my needle up at point 4, down at point 3, and again point 5 is 2 down, 2 to the left, so up at point 5, down at point 4. So essentially you now just keep stitching round, you count where your next stitch is going to be based on the grid that you've got, and you just do back stitch all the way round whatever shape you're doing. And if it's the detail, then obviously you repeat it throughout the space that you're given to repeat it. But yeah, always make sure that your fabric is horizontally on. You don't need to draw the outline on the fabric because you just count the holes. And that means that you won't need to wash any fabric or anything like that when you're done. It'll all be clean and shouldn't need anything like that. When you get going, it really is just back stitch. It's as simple as that. And this is a very simple design just to illustrate how it works. But with a more complicated design, it is exactly the same principle. It's not more complicated at all. In my cheat sheet, there are a few tips and tricks that you might find useful with the bigger designs, but I'm not going to take you through them now because you have to buy a kit or a pattern to access that cheat sheet. So this is just a really quick intro for you.